founders entrusted us with the most radical ideas in human history, that people can rule themselves without collapsing into chaos. For a century, we have proven that it's possible, but the next century will demand that we prove it's sustainable. Sustainability in governance is not about stability, it is about maturity. The ability to absorb shocks without losing direction. And maturity comes from institutional self awareness. Every institution, court, parliament, executive, must build the capacity for self audit. We cannot wait for crisis or scandal to trigger introspection. We need constitutional routines that renew legitimacy before decay begins. A self governing nation is like a living organism. It must shed dead cells to stay alive. That's not rebellion, that's hygiene. So, renewal, first of all, is discipline, the daily maintenance of freedom. Let's discuss now the renewal as leadership, the rise of the constitutional citizen. The constitution will endure only as long as its citizens act like its guardians, not as passive beneficiaries, but as constitutional leaders in everyday life. We need a new archetype of leadership, one that blends ambition with restraint, intellect with empathy, and power with public spirit. The constitutional citizen is not defined by profession, but by conduct, by the refusal to treat convenience as truth, by the willingness to question one's own side with the same intensity as one questions the other. Leadership in the next century will not come from authority, but from authenticity. Those who embody the republic's moral architecture will lead, even without title. This is the moment to move from the politics of noise to the politics of meaning. To reimagine leadership not as competition for control, but as a conversation about destiny. The next century of India will belong to those who can translate constitutional values into lived ethics. That is how democracy becomes culture, not performance. Now let's discuss renewal as education, teaching the constitution as a way of thinking. If the republic is to last another 100 years, we must teach the constitution differently, not as civics, but as civilization. Our children memorize articles, but not ideas. They can recite rights, but cannot recognize justice. We have built citizens who know how to vote, but not how to think constitutionally. Education must evolve from information to orientation, to train moral imagination, historical memory, and critical reasoning. Every classroom should become a miniature republic, governed by dialogue, equality, and discipline. Because the Constitution is not learned in textbooks, it's practiced in behavior. A school that teaches respect, curiosity, and courage is the truest constitutional institution. We often ask how to protect the Constitution. The real answer is to raise children who don't need protecting from it. Now let's discuss renewal as culture, the soft power of civility. Power isn't only hard, it's also soft, expressed through language, manners, and the unwritten codes of public life. A civilization's depth is measured not by its GDP, but by its grammar of respect. Civility is the Constitution's cultural twin. It is what makes disagreement productive instead of destructive. It is the difference between argument and animosity. If the 20th century taught us how to debate, the 21st must teach us how to listen. Because listening is the highest form of respect, and respect is the seed of order. We must reclaim public discourse from vulgarity and restore dignity to dialogue.